Tam Bates with 12 wickets, thanks to her 4 for here this afternoon. But nonetheless, a very good over that time from Megan Shute, and a wicket-taking one as well. We know that she is capable of great things, as Talia McGrath will continue from that southern end.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if you're getting wickets, as long as you're bowling well and creating that crunch on the batters and getting those dot balls. The person at the other end can do the job.
Villani facing McGrath, full ball, driven straight to mid-off, and a dot ball. And you and I had this conversation, didn't we, the other day about Shabnim Ismail. It's almost like she bowls too quick for this competition sometimes. She's not a penetrating bowler by way of wickets taken, but the fact that she is so quick, she builds pressure, and she is a bit of shock value, I suppose, if you're a tail-ender especially, not used to facing a bowler of her calibre or speed, as Villani again waits for McGrath. Back of her length, she went to pull this one. She went very early. The ball's come into her midriff, and I think she certainly felt that one. Elise Villani moved a little too early in the motion of the shot, and it is only a dot ball.
Well, if you want to see a good bruise later on, listeners, jump on Elise Villani's social media, because no doubt she will put a picture up of that bruise.
That is one of the more tender spots you can be hit, isn't it? Sort of low in the stomach.
It is not fun.
She shakes it off, though, facing here Talia McGrath. Villani, she's playing and missing at this ball outside the off stump. I thought for sure she'd nick that, but we're not in the best position to see right on square of the wicket. Villani remains on 6. She's faced 12 balls. She's been slowed up a little bit in this sort of last over or so. This is midway through the 4th over now, and Talia McGrath is certainly on top in this mini battle. What does she do next? McGrath into Villani, who is driving straight to cover, where she picks out Laura Woolvart.
Well, she's hit that last one quite well, but I just feel from what we've seen at the moment with Villani, she's just playing a bit too early and not really waiting on that ball to come onto the bat.
And that's key on this wicket, isn't it, Charlotte? We were talking about it earlier. Also, the pitch might be a little, the bounce might be inconsistent as well. She drives through the air, inside out, over cover, and a few bounces before it hits the rope. So with that, Elise Villani just loosens the shackles a little bit. She takes her score to 10, and the Stars are 1 for 21. 120 runs all up shy of that victory target.
Yeah, and it's an interesting shot there. It was a great shot by Villani, but, McGrath's bowled 4 dots at her. So, Villani's one of those players that doesn't like too many dots and will play a big shot.
Villani here waits for McGrath, back of a length, but she's forward defending, and the bowler fields in her follow through, and that will complete 4 overs here in the run chase. 1 for 21 here, the Melbourne Stars. They lost Meg Lanning a short time ago for 11, much to the disappointment of the very, very small unofficial crowd here at Blacktown, because this is not a ticketed event, unfortunately, today. Only select games having crowds throughout this WBBL competition. But the Melbourne Stars certainly have plenty of class still to come. Mignon Dupree will be back on strike shortly. Nat Siva perhaps due in next. Annabelle Sutherland. Anna Lanning, one of the 2 inclusions today for the Melbourne Stars, who's, by all reports, been hitting them well in the nets. It's always a tricky criteria, isn't it, though, Charlotte, if you're picking a player based on net form. I suppose you can't really do anything else at this stage. These players are all in a bubble. They can't play club cricket or anything like that, as Mignon Dupree waits for Megan Shute. Another slower ball, driven up through the air over Alex Price's head. They'll come back for at least 2. They may even think about a 3rd here. Villani turned the corner quickly, but the call was no for Mignon Dupree, and Mignon Dupree is off the mark now. She's on 2. The Stars are 1 for 23.
Yeah, exactly. You can be in the nets all you want, and because of COVID this year, these girls, all they've been doing is training in the nets, and you can see the Australian and the New Zealand girls that have been playing games are already on the front foot as soon as we started this tournament. No,
that's a good point. Here's Megan Shute bowling to Mignon Dupree, full toss, driven straight to cover, and a dot ball from the blade of the South African.
I think Coyte's a really good move to bring on here. She's the Strikers' #1 bowler so far in this tournament, and her bowling of just good line and length on the pegs will go really nicely on this pitch.
Shute continues. Another full toss. Back over the bowler's head. The umpire ducks for cover, and that was powerfully struck from Mignon Dupree. Straight drive on that full toss. The opportunity was there, and she certainly didn't waste it. She moves to 6, and the Stars are 1 for 27 midway through the 5th.
And just as I say it, Spriggy, she bowls a full toss, and it was rightly put straight back over her head. So you've got to use the facilities, but she will be probably one of the key bowlers for the Strikers today.
Do you think we'll see Coit at the other end?
Coit and Coit.
The shoot continues from the northern end, back of a length, and Dupree in the crease, just defending it back to the mid-wicket region, so a dot ball. So they've used Shoot McGrath. It's unusual to see, I guess, two bowlers used for the first 4 or 5 overs. This would be Megan Shoot's third over. And she's in again past the umpire. Second last ball of this one. Dupree is driving straight to Talia McGrath at cover, reaching at that ball outside off stump. So, do you expect we'll see Sarah Coit, or do you think we'll see spin come into the equation from here?
I think we'll see Coity come on for 1 or 2 shortly. Then they'll use their spinners. And then I would imagine that Coit would finish off the innings as well of her death bowling, change of pace.
So Shoot's going to bowl her first 3 overs at least here straight. Last ball of the third, and it's whipped away through mid-wicket from Mignon Dupree out to the fielder in the deep, who is Bridget Patterson, and she gets 1 run to keep the strike next over. 5 overs in the book here in the run chase. The Melbourne Stars are 1 for 28. They are chasing 141 for the win. Brittany Carter is coming up next.
ABC Sport. The WBBL.
Hi, I'm Elise Perry.
I'm Elisa Healy.
I'm Ash Gardner.
On the stance, big shot. Oh, before and she's given.
On ABC Radio, digital and the ABC Listen app.
The first change for the Strikers in their bowling attack is Coit, who's come from the southern end. You can see Michelle Gosco laughing in the background, so whispering. But it is the first change, is it not?
Here she is, Sarah Coit.
Running in hard to Dupree. Defence, it's a dot ball to start for Coit. 1 for 28, the Stars sit. They do like to chase, but I've got a stat for you. So when they've won the toss, decided to bowl, which is what we know they like to do, and batted second, they've only lost 2 to 3 wickets in all their games that they've done that so far. So I don't know if that's going to happen today, but just keep it in the back of your mind, Charlotte, as Coit comes into Dupree again and she cuts, but the fielder at point, it's Katie Mack, stops them from running. It's a dot.
Interesting fact there, Brittany, and, you know, they can only afford then to lose 1 or 2 more wickets if they're to win this game.
Coit in for the third ball of the over. Dupree hits it high up into the air in front of square leg. There was a chance at a catch, but the fielder out there, Bridget Patterson, sort of just a bit short then. So Stars take a single. They're 1 for 29, and Dupree moves to 7.
Yeah, and that was quite close. Bridget Patterson's one of the better fielders in this team and the competition, and I would have liked to see her really try and have a crack at that catch and dive full length forward.
Dupree on 8, sorry. Our scoreboard a little slow to update. And Villani on strike now for Coit. Just playing it back along the carpet to the fielder at mid-on in Talia McGrath. So it's another dot for Sarah Coit. She's known as an economical bowler, isn't she?
Oh, certainly. And she's, you know, as I mentioned before, she'll be really, really good on this wicket. She just bowls, you know, that nice nagging medium pace, looks to change her pace, the ball. She just bowls on those pegs every ball, creates opportunities.
Coit to Villani, just whips it off the pads, flicking it around the corner. There's a fielder out after it. In the meantime, the Stars have made 2. Almost looking for 3, but sticking with the 2. So they're 1 for 31 now.
I think this is a really good opportunity here for Elise Villani to really set herself, get some decent runs out here and really finish off the game for the Stars if they're to win.
So it's a really bad sign for the Strikers. In fact, it was Susie Bates who was after that ball and is now down on the ground in a fair bit of pain. We know this was her first game back from a shoulder injury. And so do you think it's probably something to do with that again?
Oh, I hate to say it, but I would imagine so. You know, she might have come back, you know, a game or two too soon, and, you know, she didn't even throw that ball too well, so she might have even heard it when she was batting. But, you know, this would be a huge loss here for the Strikers if she was to leave the field.
She's right on the other edge of the field, so we can't really see what's happening other than the physios have run out to see if she's okay. She had 2 Strikers mates with her there as well who are now going to leave and let the physios do their job as they run towards the pack of strikers having a drink, a bit closer to us where we can see what's happening. So we hope that Susie Bates is okay. She's a much-loved player amongst the women's cricket community. And you never like to see someone get hurt, especially when they've just made their first game back from injury, Charlotte.
Oh, absolutely not. You don't want to ever see anyone get hurt. And, you know, as you mentioned, the girls absolutely love her down in South Australia and with the strikers. And if she was to leave the field, which it looks like that she is doing, it'd be a huge loss. You know, they've already got Stephanie Taylor out, you know, two captains of their country, Susie, a former captain, and Steph, the current captain of the West Indies. So, you know, I guess Megan Schutt's already been there before this tournament. She's captained the side and she's done well so far. So, you know, whilst the girls will be disappointed that Susie's hurt herself, they'll need to reset and, you know,
it's
keep
devastating, isn't it? She looks like she's in a lot of pain down there, head in her hands. So Annie O'Neill's come on as a sub-fielder, number 5. She's not played a lot of women's Big Bash before, but is someone that has been coming up through the Adelaide and South Australian pathways.
Yeah, and a good opportunity for her. She obviously wasn't picked today, but she's out there now doing her best for the team. We're just checking the stumps here that they're in correctly.
It's funny what you remember, Charlotte. So this umpire that's just putting the bells back on and ensuring the stumps are nice and tight is the umpire from last year in the men's Big Bash game that rubbed his nose. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
Went to go up for a wicket and then rubbed his nose. Coit back into the attack, continuing after that little delay, and it's a dot ball. So a great over from her. 3 runs coming off it, and the Stars are 1 for 31.
Tell me about the story, Brittany.
Yeah, so Rashid Khan started celebrating because the umpire, who is Greg Davison, started to put his hand up for, I think it was an LBW call. And just as he sort of raised his finger, he brought it back under his nose as if he had a little sniffle and gave it a rub.
Oh, that is one of the worst things that you could see as a bowler. You think you're about to get a wicket, you start the celebrations, and then the umpire just lets you down.
It's funny, though, what you remember from this competition and also from the men's competition, because it is the drama of cricket, isn't it? This shorter format. We used to call it on our Ladies Who Leg Spin podcast as the soap opera of cricket, because so much happens in such a short period of time and it does stick in your mind.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing it looks like Alexandra Price.
We've got
Wellington.
Amanda Jade Wellington, yes.
Coming
There's
into
some
the attack.
leg spin to come from the northern end. Just doing a big windmill here to get her arms working. And over the wicket into Dupree, who sweeps down on one knee into the mid-wicket region. It's picked up by Maddie Penner and sent back to the wicket keeper as the Stars take a single. They're 1 for 32. Dupree moves to 9.
Wellington's been bowling not too bad so far in this tournament. I think she picked up 3 wickets in one game and she hasn't been as lucky as she would have liked, but she's bowling well and she's using that change of pace, and she's also getting quite a bit of turn, which is good. So she's obviously been working on her wrist position and her revs on that ball.
So Wellington, 6 wickets so far this season. There were a couple of games where she was really expensive. I think Sophie Devine smacked her around the park a little bit when they played the Scorchers. Villani hits her down the grounds, just past the bowler. Wellington couldn't contain it, and so it's a single for the Stars. They're 1 for 33. Villani on 13.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be too upset in that game against the Scorchers. I think Devine took everyone to town.
As she has done much of this season. Wellington to Dupree again. This time just a defensive shot, staying put.
We've already seen so far today in this game that the strikers have probably bowled more dot balls so far than what the Stars did. So, yeah, the next couple of overs I think will be a bit key in this game as to which way the cookie crumbles.
Wellington in second, last ball of the over, and Dupree cracks it over her head all the way to the rope for 4. The Stars 1 for 37, and Dupree moving to 13.
Well, that was a lovely shot. Just waltzed down the wicket, attacked the bowler, and just slapped it straight back over her head for 4 with great power.
Wellington into Dupree, sweeping behind square leg. It's enough for them to take one. They're 1 for 38 now as Dupree moves to 14.
And Dupree's one of those really nagging cricketers that's tough to get out, and she's plays 360, so she's so strong straight, as we just saw, but she can also sweep and play behind the keeper.
There are 2 balls to come in this over, the 7th. Wellington into Villani, who tries to cut. The ball's made it through to McFarlane, so I don't think she made any contact there. And it's a dot to finish the over. And our scoreboard must be behind, surely, unless that's 5 balls only. Anyway, we've got Michelle Goscoe coming back into the attack for us on Grandstand.
Yes. I love it, Britt. Welcome to everybody listening here on ABC Grandstand.
So you and Charlotte have been scoring. Was that a 5 ball over, or is our scoreboard behind?
Well, I had a 5 ball over. So what do I know, though? I've got to say, I was watching Susie Bates. I think it's her right shoulder, and I'd be absolutely devastated for her. She just looked in a world of pain and looked a bit distraught when she was walking back under the dugout. So yeah, I just really feel for her at the moment.
Well, Alex Price has got the ball, going to come from the southern end, and she's not bowled or batted so far this season, so this is her first time with ball in hand for the Strikers. It's a full toss to Dupree, who sort of just gets it along the ground to mid-off, sorry. So it's a dot ball. Probably would have liked to do more with that if you were Dupree. In again. McFarlane really clicked with the gloves, but Dupree was well in her crease, so it's another dot for Price. It's a good start to her Big Bash campaign.
Absolutely. Good character for the WBBL as well. It's well bowled there. Just watching the umpire, he's extremely tall. He's double the height,
yes,
of the players.
Bracey now with some more spin, and Dupree plays it back along the ground to the bowler for a third dot.
So this is where the pressure starts to build here for the Stars. 3 dots. Getting a bit anxious when you're batting.
Dupree, full toss, dispatched over the head of the bowler. It's gone out on the leg side, down to cow corner for 4. As Dupree moves to 18, the Stars now 1 for 42 and starting to find their rhythm, Michelle Goscoe.
Yeah, and that's a really good shot. I mean, a good player should be able to dispatch that full toss pretty much anywhere you want to hit it.
2 balls to come. Dupree. Again, another full toss, this time on the offside, and it's going to be a no ball. So it'll be a free hit here for Elise Villani.
Well, maybe it should be Elise Villani's birthday. She's getting a free hit here. I'll tell you what, I reckon about 70 or 75% of deliveries on a free hit go for a 0 or 1 because everyone just tries to hit it so hard. So Villani, just stay still here.
She's on 13 at the moment. The free hit lifts it up into the air, over the offside, and it will be 4. So hasn't she shown you, Michelle Goscoe, as the Stars move to 1 for 47. Villani on 17 with that free hit, dispatching it to the boundary.
No, well, she did, and what she did well was stay still. So didn't panic and try and overhit it. Great shot there by Villani over cover.
Final ball of the over as Price sets herself up at the top of the mark. With some more spin over the wicket to Villani, who this time plays more of a defensive drive down the ground through the onside. And she'll finish the over with a single, take them to 1 for 48. And that's the end of the 8th over. Alex Price, none for 9 after her first.
Well, she started off really well. 3 dot deliveries to start and then just lost her way a little bit in that little middle section and then closed it out with a 1. But the ball won't spin if you don't land it. So it's one of her targets for the next over if she gets another over here. The Stars just getting a wriggle on here. Geez, they've got a formidable lineup, don't they? They've lost Lanning early, but geez, we've got Siva still sitting in the stands, Sutherland, Anna Lanning is getting to play some cricket with her sister.
One for 48 the Stars as the scoreboard catches up. Wellington into Villani, playing hard through the offside. Looking for 2, happy with 1. They're 1 for 49, Villani on 18.
And just keeping that rate required under the 8 mark. So we're quite happy with that at the moment, the Stars.
A change being made here in the field. Manny Penner just being pushed from mid-on right up to possibly a leg gully, would you call that, Michelle Gosco? Wellington into Dupree, who can't get the middle of the bat to hit the ball. Does get some on it, though, and it trickles out on the onside, and it's enough for her to scamper through for a single as the Stars reach their 50. They're 1 for 50 into the 9th over.
Yeah, she's got a short fine here. So just trying to stop the sweep shot coming into play.
Wellington to Villani this time, who cuts through the covers. Picked up by Alex Price out on the boundary, and the Stars get 1. They're 1 for 51.
And they're bowling a good start here.
Dupree, bat in the air, waiting on Wellington. Swings hard at it, pulls through mid-wicket. There's 2 fielders here on the boundary, but it's come off the hands of Bridget Patterson and over the rope, so she gets 4. Bit of a misfield from the strikers. Takes the Stars to 55.
Yeah, pretty hard to defend a ball when it's a full toss again. A low full toss. Pretty easy for Dupree just to swing her arms through. She hit that gap perfectly. Not much that Katie Mack could do.
Wellington to Dupree, who cuts to backward point. Just picked up by Laura Woolvard, and there's no run taken, so it's a dot for Wellington. A good response from the 4. The Stars still 1 for 56. 1 ball to come in this over. Dupree coming down the track, whips it up over the head of the umpire and the bowler. Sarah Coit has a little misfield out there, but it won't matter. The Stars content with 1, and they finish the 9th over 1 for 57. Dupree on 24 and Villani on 20.
Yeah, it just looks a bit easy, doesn't it, for the Stars at the moment. The strikers, they're bowling some good deliveries and then just bowling that 1 or 2 bad balls and over. And when you're bowling at the calibre of players that the Stars have got, they're always going to dispatch those for 4. So they need to try and string some dots together here. Got Sarah Coit coming back into the attack.
Megan Shute having a chat with her there. So Megan Shute got to take off her captaincy hat for 1 innings, basically, and now she's got it back on now that Susie Bates is injured and off the field.
Well, the only positive, she's had some experience at it now, so I'm sure she would have loved just to be able to play without that extra responsibility.
Dupree on strike to face Coit. Driving hard to mid-off where Megan Shute fielding really nicely, keeps them to a dot ball.
And they need a few more of those, the strikers. As I said, they've bowled some good balls, but it's just been that odd full toss that's gone in there.
Dupree moving back into her crease, whips it round the corner. It looks like it's going to be 4. It will be 4. Dupree moving to 28. The Stars hit 1 for 61. And it's going to be leg byes, so...
Yeah, 4 leg byes there. Bit of a shout there by Sarah Coit, but she was on a Pat Malone there. No one else really helped her with a appeal.
So Dupree still 24, sorry. The Stars 1 for 61 with those 4 leg byes. Coit charging it again. This time worked into the leg side just for a single. The Stars 1 for 62 now. Dupree off strike. 25 runs off 26 balls. So she's moving at a strike rate that's pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, and she has that ability to accelerate as well. I'm just saying the strikers, they just look a bit rattled, don't they? They've lost their skipper. Obviously worried about Susie Bates as well.
Coit to Villani this time. Working through mid-wicket. And they'll stay with the single. 1 for 63. Villani moves to 21 and Dupree back on strike.
And these two batters are just doing it really easy at the moment. Been in pretty good touch too during this WBBL 06.
2 balls to come. As Coit runs in. Right arm over the wicket to Dupree. Again, picking out that leg side. Inner circle region for a single is Dupree, who's now on 26. The Stars 1 for 64 with 1 ball to come.
Yeah, she's pretty strong on her legs then, just whips that through mid-wicket. It's an easy one out to the fielder on the boundary.
Coit to Villani. Final ball of the over, down the track. Heading all the way to the fielder at long on. Villani was looking for 2. Dupree told her to head back. And so they'll finish the 10th over, 1 for 65. Mignon Dupree on 26. Elise Villani on 22. And I'm going to hand back to Brett Sprigg for more commentary.
The WBBL.
Hi, I'm Rachel Haynes.
I'm Elisa Healy. I'm Nick Carey.
Down the pitch, gets a full toss and hits it for 4.
On ABC Radio, digital and the ABC Listen app.
Thank you, Brittany Carter. Yeah, 1 for 65 here, the Melbourne Stars in pursuit of 141, that victory target. Great to have your company here at Blacktown International Sportspark. Not so great the news for Susie Bates and the Adelaide Strikers, and I suppose the New Zealand White Ferns as well, because on her first game back from that shoulder injury, she appears, Gozzy, as you said, to have re-injured that shoulder, which, I mean, the look on her face told a pretty sorry story, didn't it, at least initially?
Yeah, and it was really sad to see, actually, as well, and just really despondent walking back. And I sort of thought when she took a little bit of a tumble out in the boundary that it may have been a foot injury, but she was walking back okay and sort of slumped with her right shoulder. So I'm hoping it's not for her case that it's serious, because she's such a great character to have in this competition and so important for the Strikers.
By the way, in the Sheffield Shield, into the final session on day 3, New South Wales 6 for 427 against Tasmania. Sean Abbott, 44, not out. With him is Mitchell Stark on 49. That's a second innings lead of 252. New South Wales over Tasmania. Queensland, meanwhile, and SA at Glenelg. South Australia now 4 for 69, having lost their first 4 wickets. Henry Hunt, the top scorer so far with 41. That is chasing an imposing 379 further runs to win that game. And WA 8 for 436 have now passed Victoria's first innings, but they're waiting for Josh Inglis to score his century. He's 91, not out. But yeah, it's very late now into the final session on day 3, all of our Sheffield Shield games. So where is this game placed then, Gozzy? Is it all about, I guess, the names still to come in the shed for the Melbourne Stars?
Yeah, it is, but only losing the 1 wicket, you'd think the Stars are in the box seat at the moment. You know, the Strikers, they desperately need to break this partnership just to try and get into that middle order, just to put themselves with a chance. We saw it last week that did happen.
And Maddie Penner, we'll see a first look of her leg break from that northern end. Also the hat on. Down and sweeping is Elise Villani. Out into the gap on the onside. Coming around from behind square is Katie Mack, and they're content with just the 1, the Melbourne Stars. 1 for 66 now at the resumption early in this 11th over.
I don't mind this. She might go for a few, but might pick up a sneaky wicket as well.
Here she comes, Penner. Flatter ball this time. Cutting is Mignon Dupree. Beats the dive of the fielder. It gets past the infield. Laura Woolvart it was who initially was all over that ball, but it ran out towards the fence for 4. So Dupree adds another boundary to her tally. She is now on 30, and the Stars are 1 for 70. So Maddie Penner, in fact, who was also an ex-Melbourne Star. She debuted last year for the Stars due to Alana King's injury. Also plays at the Meteors, the WNCL. Another flat ball here, driven this time through the offside. Mignon Dupree out to the fielder on the boundary. 1 for 71. Dupree moves to 31.
Well, that's how she picked up her wicket last week. Sort of skidded on, didn't bounce very high, and got the wicket out in the boundary.
Villani back on strike, waits for Penner. Forward defensive stroke, back to the bowler, dot ball.
And it's pretty much summed up the strikers so far this over. Just some good deliveries, but also one or two poor ones that have been dispatched.
Villani on 23. Foot to the pitch, driven back, and it's dropped. It was a tough chance from Madeline Penner. Came back to her on the full. She went low to her left at pace off the bat of Elise Villani, and it just trickles away to her left.
Oh, she smoked that, but you've got to take those.
Penner, waste no time here. Flights it up, full toss. Villani goes big. I'll catch that one, Gozzy. That is on to the roof, over the roof of the little makeshift dugout here at Blacktown on our commentary side of the ground. And 6 runs. And Noe as well?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So the waist height, well, it has to be shoulder height, doesn't it, for a slow bowler? I don't know if...
No.
She came down the track a long way.
Well, they go on your pant height, so... But she did come out of a crease. We did have a dispute about that, whether you change the length of the ball. It was pretty high, though, so I wouldn't be too unhappy.
So Villani ticks along to 29. The Stars are 1 for 78. This could prove a very decisive over in this run chase, and the free hit signalled as well here. So a chance to do the same here, Elise Villani. After that monster shot a short time ago. Here is Penner. Another full toss, and this will get the same treatment, not quite as far. It'll drop, and that will be signalled no ball again. Katie Mack takes it on the bounce out at deep square leg. Back-to-back no balls and free hits here from Maddie Penner. The Melbourne Stars 1 for 80 now.
Is it Christmas here at Blacktown? She's giving away presents here, Maddie Penner, unfortunately.
All it takes is one over to really... I mean, it wasn't a huge task. The 141 to win. 61 runs shy now. Penner, well flighted, meets it on the full as Villani and picks out some vacant space. One bounce for 4. So Mignon Dupree, in fact, facing that free hit, puts it all the way down the ground. 4 runs for her. She is now 35. The Stars are 1 for 84.
Yeah, that's a big over there, isn't it? It's just broken the back of this run chase here for the Stars. Unfortunately for Penner, she's gone for 19 in that over.
Yeah, not the right start with the ball for a young leg spinner. And we will see a little bit more here of Talia McGrath from the southern end of Blacktown. Her figures so far, none for 11 from her 2 overs.
I just said, Spriggy, they just looked a little bit rattled, didn't they, when their skipper went off injured. A little bit despondent themselves. Need something here. The game's never over. So if you bring 1 wicket, it can bring 2.
Yeah, that's certainly what they'd be feeling if they can get that next breakthrough. This partnership now worth, 67 after having lost Meg Lanning when the score was 17. She went for 11. It's been the task of Villani and Dupree in the meantime. Here is the former of those. Villani facing McGrath, back of a length, whipped off the legs through mid-wicket. They chase up the line here, the batters, and they'll just get the 1 run off the bat of Elise Villani. 31 now from 33. The Stars are 1 for 85.
Yeah, and they just need just over 6 and over now. So run a ball.
Fielders are back at long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backwards square as McGrath continues to Dupree. Slower ball. Again, just working it off the legs. Down to the fielder at backwards square. 1 more run here for Mignon Dupree. 1 for 86, the Melbourne Stars. They're chasing 141 for the win after earlier the strikers got to 7 for 140 from their 20 overs.
I don't know what they had at that drinks break, but it certainly worked in their favour, the Stars.
Midway through the 12th over here, McGrath. Back of a length for Villani, playing it confidently out onto the offside, and they'll get the 1 run. She's 32. The Stars are 1 for 87. You've got Brett Sprigg alongside Michelle Gosco here on Grandstand Cricket via the usual ABC platforms.
It's good bowling here, but it needs a partnership at the other end.
Dupree looks like she wants to get going here. It's tucked away off the hit, though. It was another tricky length that time. Coming from Talia McGrath, back of a length. She already appeared well set that time, Dupree, but Off the legs, she finds another single. So the strike just keeps ticking over. 1 for 88 here to Melbourne Stars.
Well, they don't need to do any more than this, do they, Spriggy? They can just knock it around.
Valani here waits for McGrath. She cuts at this. Could be a thick edge as well. Down to the fielder at third. And another single this time. You mentioned the picket fence. This over's been like that from Talia McGrath here. 1 for 89, the Melbourne Stars. 1 to come in the 12th.
And there's nothing better at cricket, is there? Watching the picket fence, the white picket fence around the ground.
Oh, I thought you meant in the scorebook.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are better things in the T20
As a bowler.
than to see singles, yeah. I prefer dots if I can get them. But, no, every good cricket ground needs a picket fence, and that's what we have here at Blacktown as well on this main arena. McGrath into Dupree, leaning over this ball, playing it through mid-wicket. Fielder in the deep collects off the turf, and that will be just the 1 run. So 1 for 89, the Melbourne Stars here. In fact, it may even be 1 for 90. Yes. So 51 runs away from the victory target here. 12 overs in. So 8 overs left in the first of these 2 big games to come today. And tonight, it's the Renegades and the Hurricanes.
Yeah, we're getting to the business end of this competition, aren't we? Every win is vital from now on.
I was saying to Charlotte before, every moment of every game is so consequential from this moment. And an expensive over or a missed opportunity with the bat or in the field could be the difference between your team playing finals or not. So it's great to be able to bring it all to you as we've done so far during WBBL 06. And we'll see more of Sarah Coit from the Northern or Narragansett Reserve end here at Blacktown. Seven runs off her 2 overs so far. This is a dot ball played from Mignon Dupree, misfilled by the bowler in her follow through.
Yeah, she's so economical. She has gone for a bit of tap so far this tournament, Sarah Coit, but bowling well on this pitch here.
Mignon Dupree, 36 runs to her name, facing Sarah Coit. Put it on a good length, and it's played off her legs. Out to the fielder Bridget Patterson at deep mid-wicket. Just the 1 run. Oh, accurate throw from the deep. Took the bails off. A direct hit, but Valani was well set. And she's in good form, Elise Valani, as well, isn't she? I mean, out for a first ball duck in her very first game of this tournament. But the scores she's put together since then. 51 not out, 43, 13, 25. So a 50 and a 40 in there. She's climbing up here, 33 off 35.
Yeah, she's looked really good, and just reminding the Australian selectors, I'm still here.
Just 31 years of age, so plenty of cricket still ahead of her. Facing Sarah Coit, full ball, full toss, off her legs, down to long on. They want to take on the fielder here. They'll come back for a second. Throw comes in from the deep from Talia McGrath, and they complete a successful double. So Valani ticks along to 35. The Melbourne Stars are 1 for 93 here at Blacktown. They're chasing 141 to win.
You'd back Dupree to make it back, wouldn't you? She's so short in stature, but she scoots along the wicket so quickly.
Keep her up to the stumps here. Coit into Valani. Another full toss. Played along the carpet down to long on. And they won't be getting 2 this time. Valani to 36. 1 for 94 here, the Stars.
Jeez, that lineup from the Stars, though, Spriggy, it looks so strong, doesn't it, on paper? The game's not played on paper. It's played on grass. But when you look at it, it's formidable.
Second last ball this over. Coit, again this time, a good length ball. Mignon Dupree works it behind square, off the legs for 1 more. Where it's fielded by Katie Mack in the deep. 1 for 95, and Dupree ticks her score along to 40 off 36.
Just too easy at the moment. So they just look a little bit flat, don't they, the strikers in the field? Just needs something special here from Coit.
Last ball the over. Coit, full toss. Again, just adjusting. Can't quite adjust that length to release Valani. It's another full toss, but thankfully, mercifully, it was stopped by the fielder at mid-off, and that will be any chance of a run thwarted. 1 for 95. 13 overs in the book here. They're chasing 141 to make it 5 wins on the bounce in this WBBL campaign, and basically lock away a finals campaign for the first time ever.
Yeah, that's exciting in itself, isn't it? The Melbourne Stars. Going about their business here today at Blacktown very professionally.
It's sort of hard to gauge how many wins is enough to guarantee finals. Just on the way it's all unfolding, I would imagine a win today makes them pretty well safe. But because their other results were 3 washouts, so you're not sort of counting wins against losses, but wins against washouts and the shared points in those games. I would say a win here would make it enough, but there's still a long way to go yet. It's worked through the leg side this time. A new over from Amanda Jade Wellington. Dupree finds one out to the deep mid-wicket area. And Mignon Dupree now takes her score along to 41. And they are 1 for 96.
And desperately needs something here from Wellington. Villani just taking her time.
Sort of a cover on the boundary. A long on, a deep mid-wicket, a deep square as well. Elise Villani on 36, waits for AJ Wellington, full toss, launches back over the bowler's head, and that's 2 straight for the cover coming around as well. So Elise Villani just taking the opportunities, another boundary for her. She is now 40 with what is her 5th boundary all up of this innings, 4th 4, and to go with that big towering 6 a short time ago.
Well, we've seen in this competition so far, there's been quite a few wickets off that full toss, but these two today, they've just dispatched every single one for 4. You can't afford a spinner not to land the ball.
Amanda Jade Wellington, inning end of Villani on 40. She's sweeping forward of square, but it'll turn its way out to the fielder in the deep. Skidding along the turf, and it's a single this time for Elise Villani. 41 now from 40, and that brings up 3 figures for the Melbourne Stars. 1 for 100, so the equation pretty simple. They're 41. In fact, 1 for 101. So 40 runs away from the win here at Blacktown. Mignon Dupree back on strike in the 14th over. Charging down the wicket, out through a gap between long on and deep mid-wicket. Long on comes around here, Sarah Coit, heaved it in from the outer. And they're just content with the one this time, the Melbourne Stars batters. Dupree ticks along, so bit of a race to the 50 here. She's on 42 now, Dupree. Villani on 41. 2 balls left in the 14th. They're 1 for 102.
Yeah, great little partnership here for the Stars.
Second last ball of the over. Villani, again, just up-ish, up over the bowler's head, lobbing it beautifully through the air. She knew she was safe, and it skids its way along for 4. Elise Villani, 45 is now her score, 1 for 106.
Yeah, it's a special shot right over mid-off. Just got to the pitch of it. She's been so still today as she's hit the ball. She's not trying to overhit it.
AJ Wellington, last ball the 14th. Villani on strike 45, attempts a reverse sweep. Can't quite get it fine enough. Picks out the fielder at short third, which became short fine leg in the motion of that reverse sweep. And after 14 overs, the Melbourne Stars are 1 for 106 with Villani and Dupree very well set on 45 and 42 respectively. That's all from Michelle Gosco for now. Charlotte Anneveld comes back to the microphone. G'day, Charlotte.
G'day, Spriggy. Well, aren't the Stars just doing it a bit too easily at the moment? But in saying that, cricket's a funny game, and it just takes 1 or 2 wickets and it completely, changed the atmosphere of this. And, I think looks like Price is coming on here, and she's a bit of an awkward spinner to face, and she's got great chat too. So, if she can get in Dupree's or Villani's ear, she might snag a wicket here.
35 runs away from the win here. Alex Price, who turned 25 last week. It's her first appearance of this WBBL campaign. They're only over so far today, going for 11 runs. So she'll have to pull it back here. They have to get wicket breakthroughs as well. Deep mid-wicket, long on at both back. Also that sort of wideish long off, more of a cover on the boundary. And it's swept out into the deep from Mignon Dupree down to mid-wicket where Bridget Patterson is waiting. And they just keep the strike ticking along here. Dupree 43 off 39. They're 1 for 107, 34 runs away from the win.
Everyone's turning 25 at the moment, aren't they?
Oh,
Price,
wish
McGrath.
I was. Fair dinkum.
I can't remember when I was.
Here's Price bowling to Villani this time here. It's flighted up. She goes, doesn't quite send it through the air. It's out to Patterson at deep mid-wicket. Pardon me. And that is just the 1 run for Elise Villani. She's 46. So 1 good shot away from what would be a 21st half-century in this WBBL competition. Price will waste no time here. Mignon Dupree well back in her crease waiting for Alex Price. Well flighted, gives herself room. Miscues this. I think it was a little high on the bat that time from Dupree attempting the pull shot, and it is just the one run to the fielder at deep backward square. Mignon Dupree now to 44. 1 for 109 here, the Melbourne Stars. Alani back on strike. I sense she'll do it this over. Down the track. Plays it back past the bowler. Straight to mid-off. No run.
And Price is really floating the ball up here. She's really tossing it up and making these two batters get all the pace to get these runs.
Alani assesses the field, waits with that bat lifted. On her way in is Price. Going big this time. She's going to be caught out at mid-wicket. Straight down Bridget Patterson's throat. And not for the first time today, Charlotte, I have absolutely mozzed a player in the 40s. Elise Villani out for 46 of 45 balls faced. The Stars would still feel rather comfortable at 2 for 109. They are 32 runs away from that victory target, but Elise Villani departs just 4 runs shy of a half-century.
Yeah, and I think Elise will be really disappointed with that shot. It was the first kind of big slog sweep she's played all day, and unfortunately hit it straight to the fielder, but, you know, that's all right by the Stars. Look who they've got coming in now, Nat Siver. She's already got 4 for. I said at the change of innings that I think she's going to put in a big performance today all round and finish off this game. So, you know, these two are international cricketers in Dupree and Siver, and they know exactly what they will need to do here to win the game.
So that should be one to come in this over, I think, from Alex Price. So a wicket falling with the second last ball of the 15th.
And those
over.
balls, Spriggy, when a spinner tosses them up, you know, they're coming on really, really slowly. They're actually one of the hardest balls to hit because you've really got to make all the pace and really, you know, hit it to those areas. So, you know, she's bowling well so far, Price.
She is Price to Dupree, gives herself room off the back foot, punching it back down past the bowler, too long on, and that will be a single. 2 for 110, just to update you on Elise Villani. So 46 of 43 balls faced, 5 fours and 1 6 in that. And Nat Siver to the crease now, joining Mignon Dupree, as was said by Charlotte Anneveld. And to give us the next few overs here on Grandstand Cricket, it will be Brittany Carter.
The WBBL on ABC Radio, digital and the ABC Listen app.
The strikers need 31 runs, Charlotte Anneveld.
The Stars.
Sorry, the Stars, yes. The strikers with a key breakthrough, breaking that 92-run partnership between Elise Villani and Mignon Dupree. As Amanda Jade Wellington brings some more leg spin to the attack into Dupree, who cuts through the covers just forward of point. Katie Mack patrolling on the boundary will pick it up and ensure that the Stars just stick with a single. They're 2 for 111 as Dupree moves to 46. Nat Siver now on strike, facing her first ball of the day.
Yeah, and you'd have to say the Stars really are in the box seat at the moment. The strikers, they've never really looked good ever since they lost Susie Bates.
Wellington in with leg spin to Siver. There's a bit of a leading edge. It just pops up on the offside, falls in front of Laura Woolvart, and so they scamper through for a single. 2 for 112.
Siver probably just played that just a bit too early. She just too far out in front of her body, and it did pop up, and, you know, no fielders were around to take the catch.
Dupree, bat lofted, waiting on Wellington. Eager to get on with it. Hits her straight over her head, and it will be 6. Mignon Dupree wasting no time whatsoever. She moves to 52. I believe that's her highest score so far this season. The Stars now 2 for 124.
What a shot there by Dupree. Just moved her feet so nicely down. She's always moving around the crease, you know, sideways and up and down, and, you know, it's a great shot when you can hit it back over the bowler for 6.
So her previous high score this season so far has been 32. Here she is facing Wellington again. Cuts late, beats the fielder and goes straight through the two at gully and backward point to make it to the boundary again. So a 6 and a 4 for Dupree, who looks in great form for the Stars at the moment. She could be the player to get them over the line here.
Oh, doesn't she what? She's, you know, been hitting the ball so well all tournament, and it was probably a bit of a miss-hit by her in that shot, but it still went away to the boundary for 4.
Wellington to Dupree, cutting forward a point this time. It'll be a single for the Stars. Had enough with the boundaries for the over with Dupree, and she sits on 57. Now the Stars 2 for 123 with 1 ball to come in this over.
Yeah, and they're just doing this so easily, the Stars. They don't need to do anything stupid, just keep ticking the runs over and try and get a convincing win.
Wellington to Siva. And I think she might have just got a little outside edge on that ball, enough for it to trickle back towards gully where Alex Price was sitting. She makes it through for a single. The Stars move to 2 for 124. Siva on 1. I believe she might move to 2 there. And Dupree on 57. Looking like they're going to bring it home strong.
Oh, I have no doubt. I think it's a bit too late here for the Strikers. Even though 1 wicket can change a match, I think the Stars are well in control of this game. And, you know, you think of the batters they still have to come. I really can't see them losing here. In saying that, Siva, a couple of her shots that she's played so far, she doesn't really look like she's in yet. I think she just needs 1 good shot, a shoot coming back in. So, you know, Siva will just look to get herself in and then take the Stars girls home.
Well, they only need 17 runs to win this match at Blacktown. And Shoot's come in a little bit earlier than you might expect. This will be her last over of the day. She's currently none for 17 from 3 overs. In now to Siva, who just works it off the pads. Round the corner, Stars looking for 2, but it will go all the way to the rope. Katie Mack couldn't get to it in time. And so the Stars are now 2 for 128. Siva moves to 6.
Well, I think Shoot's got to come back in now. You can't save it to the end. The end is nigh. Shoot's one of the number 1 bowlers in the world, if not the best. So if they're going to get a wicket, it's probably going to come from Shoot.
13 runs required by the Stars. Siva still on strike as they just bring Katie Mack a bit squarer of the wicket. He's a deep backward square. A deep square leg at the moment. Siva cuts hard into the covers, picked up by Alex Price, who threatens at the stumps at the non-striker's end. It's a dot for Megan Shoot. The Stars 2 for 128. Siva still on strike on 6.
Yeah, and unfortunately dots aren't going to do it here. I'd really like to see Shoot bring in some of these fielders and really put the pressure on Siva. She hasn't got bat on ball quite as she'd hoped for.
Shoot to Siva. Sort of digs it out. Bit of a Yorker from Megan Shoot. The Stars take a single. They're 2 for 129. Siva moves to 7. Dupree back on strike.
Yeah, and as I just mentioned, they've left mid-wicket open. They've got the mid-wicket boundary rider in Katie Mack out in the boundary, but I'd really like to see them squeeze a bit here. You know, the Stars don't need too many runs.
3 balls to come in this 17th over. The Stars needing 12. As Shoot runs in hard over the wicket to Dupree. Pulls hard early through the leg side. Rotates the strike. Brings Siva back onto face. They're 2 for 130 as Dupree moves to 58.
They just had a quick chat out in the middle, and I can only imagine what was said. It might not have been about cricket. It might have been... But I would imagine they're just saying, let's just finish this off. Let's be sensible. Let's not do anything too hasty.
2 balls to come in this Megan Shoot over as Siva turns it round the corner behind square leg and brings Dupree back on to face Megan Shoot. They're 2 for 131. Siva moves to 8.
That's all Siva needs to do. We can see out here already, she's not hitting the ball as probably she would like to, but she just needs to get off strike. Get that single and get Dupree on strike. She's the in-form batter so far today.
10 runs required of the Stars. Looking to win this match for a second time against the Strikers at Blacktown. Dupree cuts Shoot out to the covers. And it will be a dot ball to finish the over. It'll be Nat Siva facing the next. And as the Stars are at 2 for 131, I'm going to throw back to Brett Sprigg.
Thank you, Brittany. Yes, 10 runs away from the victory, as you heard there from Brittany Carter. Great job today, as ever, Britt, here on Grandstand Cricket. We'll get some reaction from downstairs shortly as well. A reminder, of course, a doubleheader coming up later on. Melbourne Renegades and Hobart Hurricanes here at this very venue under lights. But the Stars looking rather comfortable here as this match reaches its conclusion. We'll see more of Talia McGrath from the southern end here at Blacktown. Hello again, Charlotte.
Afternoon, Spriggy. Well, what a finish we have here. And you can see why the Stars are on top of the table and haven't lost a game yet. Their performances in the field and now with the bat, having only lost 2 wickets, they're just an all-round good team. And they're my favourites at the moment for winning the competition.
Yeah, they've certainly made a statement here today. Here is Nat Siva on strike facing McGrath. She attempts the little lap here, and she's been given. So it skims off the face of the bat into the gloves of Tegan McFarlane, and the wicket falls. The 3rd wicket falls here for the Melbourne Stars. Nat Siva is out, caught behind off the bowling of Talia McGrath on her 25th birthday. But it may all be in consolation because they still remain 10 runs away from that victory target.
Well, that would have to be one of the worst ways to get out. The ball's going down leg side. You're trying to do this little lap paddle to get a 4 down behind the keeper, and you just get a little tickle on the bat, and then you're walking to the fence. You know, she's had a great game up till now, but she just didn't look like the Nat Siva that we've come to love out on the field.
Something about this stage of the game, Charlotte, batters just love to get it done quickly. And this is where you see little collapses happen. And I don't think it will jeopardise their chances of winning the game. I mean, I hope it kind of does, because it would make for a more interesting conclusion if it was a closer game. But something happens where they get within 15, 20 runs, and they start, I just want to hit a couple of sixes, get it all over with. She's tried to be creative that time, Nat Siva, and it hasn't quite come off for her. She departs for 8 from 7 balls faced, and now Annabelle Sutherland is out there taking her rightful place. At number 5 here, facing Talia McGrath, into Sutherland, off the back foot. She's playing it to mid-wicket, dot ball.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in this position where you look like you're going to win quite convincingly, the Stars are in the box seat, you can just take your foot off the pedal a bit, and, you know, people on the sidelines, there's no real urgency, or, you know, they just have this feeling where we've already won the game, so we can just stop really thinking about what's happening.
McGrath into Sutherland, back of a length, and again straight bat, defending it to the onside, dot ball.
Oh, she's got a nice block shot here, Sutherland, doesn't she, at the moment? But it's 2 dots in a row. I'd like to see her just try and get off strike. There's plenty of gaps out there, particularly square of the wicket, and get Dupree on strike, and so that she can finish off this game.
Wicket, dot, dot. So far in this Talia McGrath over. She continues again from that southern end. Sutherland taps her bat and waits, uses the face of the bat. They'll get 1 here to gully. And that will bring Dupree back on strike on 58, Mignon Dupree. So Sutherland off the mark now on 1, 3 for 132.
Yeah, and she was a bit hesitant about running there. The ball went straight to Price, but she was deep on the inner circle, and Dupree went straight away, but Sutherland was a bit hesitant, but they ended up making the single quite easily.
The voice of Charlotte Annaveld here on Grandstand Cricket. Full ball, Mignon Dupree swats it back past the bowler, down to long on. Just the 1 run out to Sarah Coit in the deep. And Dupree now to 59, I beg your pardon, 3 for 133, 8 runs away from victory.
Well, she's swatted her way through this innings, hasn't she? And she's hit some fantastic shots. She'll have to get a sponsorship through Morteen.
Sutherland on strike. Last ball of the Talia McGrath over. This is back of a length and worked off the hips. Out to the vacant space for mid-wicket long on. They'll think about the second and think better of it. Sutherland will keep the strike next over. That's 3 runs and a wicket from that Talia McGrath over. She will finish her spell having had, 1 for 20 off her 4 overs to finish off with. So, and dismissed for 5 earlier. Not the greatest birthday, not the worst either for Talia McGrath. 3 for 134 the Stars, 7 runs away from the win here at Blacktown.
Well, wouldn't it be nice if the Stars finished off here with a 6?
That would be nice. And with you until 5:30 local time. We'll wrap up this game. We'll get some reaction from both you, Charlotte, and also Michelle Gosco. And also interviews from downstairs with Brittany Carter and both, if not certainly the winning team, which will be the Melbourne Stars. Annabelle Sutherland back here facing Sarah Coit. Worked off the toes straight to mid-wicket. It was a lot of backing up by Mignon Dupree at the other end. She scampers back in that popping crease at the non-striker's end. And a dot ball first up.
Yeah, there's plenty of gaps out here on the leg side. There's not too many fielders in close. I'd like to see her just get off strike and get Dupree on.
Full ball, driven, this time straight to mid-off. Another dot ball. So Sarah Coyte's been bowling tight lines and lengths all day today. 12 runs off her first 3 overs and 2 dot balls to start her 4th.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect anything different from Coyte. She's, been around the traps for a number of years. She's played for Australia.
6 to tie, 7 to win. Coyte into Sutherland. Full ball, played off the legs again. Down to long on this time. It was a little too wide for mid-wicket. Brings Dupree back on strike here to Sutherland. 3 for 135. 6 now to win here for the Melbourne Stars.
And she knows exactly what she needs to do from her team's point of view. Just bowl full and straight, let the pitch do the work, and just try and dot it up and really put the pressure on and, really widen out this game so the Stars, take it right down to the 20th over.
Coyte in here to Dupree. Swats across the line here, back past the bowler. She misfields in her follow-through to Coyte, but it's just the 1 run here to mid-off. So it's a slow and steady way for them to get there. As I said last time, it's almost identical. In fact, last time, the Stars and the Strikers, they got the win, but left it quite late. This will go, we think, into the last over. Coyte into Sutherland. She walks the bowler. She stumps. Came out of her crease, never quite regained balance. And despite the leg side wide, which, well, it may prove costly. If nothing else, they do get another dismissal here. Sutherland stumped down the leg side. Sharp work from McFarlane behind the stumps. And the 4th Melbourne Stars wicket falls. 4 for 136. They are just 5 runs away from victory. But the important thing with that, I want to say the important thing with a wicket is there are no runs scored. That's a unique situation with a leg side stumping, and that a run has been scored because of the sundry. But 4 for 137, they are 4 runs away from the win with 8 balls left.
Yeah, and Sutherland never really looked comfortable out there today. She, hit some nice blocks, but, blocks aren't going to get you runs in T20. And when she got out, she just kind of half went forward, almost fell forward and just played a bit of a lazy shot down leg side. Never really looked like getting back in the crease. And this brings Anna Lanning out here, first bat for the Stars.
So that is an important breakthrough for Sarah Coyte because she deserved to be rewarded with her tight bowling so far today. As Anna Lanning swings across the line, gets 1 out to deep mid-wicket. And still 1 to come in this over because of the wide. So 7 balls left, and that's 3 off 7 is the equation as it stands here for the Melbourne Stars. And again, this time tucked away finally from Mignon Dupree, and she's bowled, I beg your pardon. It's come off the stumps. Wow. Just looked up for a second, thought she'd played that shot, but she's bowled. So that is another important breakthrough for Sarah Coyte. Excuse me. Mignon Dupree out for 60, 5 for 138. There is 1 over left in this game. They still need 3 runs to win.
Well, what a finish we have here at Blacktown International Sportspark. And, Mignon Dupree will be pretty upset with that. She, again, came down the wicket with intent, but she's been hitting those balls all day and it just clipped leg stump. It did go down to the boundary for 4, but she was already out, Spriggy.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone score 4 that way. Well, apart from maybe Byers if it was a no ball or something.
Yeah, but this brings Catherine Brunt in and, she's been around the traps for 20-odd years and played a lot of cricket and she'll know exactly what she needs to do. And I guess we half expected a Lanning to be out there at the end and one is. It's just the other Lanning.
And a Lanning, joined by Catherine Brunt. So Sarah Coyte now finishes with figures of 4 overs, 2 for 16. Well bowled from Sarah Coyte. You spoke about earlier the impact she would have if she came on. She's certainly done that. So who will bowl the very last over? I think it's going to be Alex Price bowling her off break from that southern end. What a moment for her then. So last over of the game. 5 for 138. The Melbourne Stars need 3 runs to win. Lanning's just sitting on her bat at the other end, at the keeper's end. She'll face the first ball of this over.
I quite like this, Spriggy. She's been tossing them up. They're going to come on quite slowly. I think the Strikers are still in with a chance here.
It's an attacking field as well. I suppose it has to be, doesn't it, to try to stop any chance of a run. She flights it up. Lanning comes down the track back to the bowler. So a dot ball to start. Well. With each dot ball, the twists and turns continue in this game. 5 for 138. 3 runs to win, 5 balls left. Price into Anna Lanning. Flutter ball this time. Goes up over mid-wicket's head, not by much. They'll get at least one out to deep mid-wicket. They'll come back for the second, and with that, they will tie up the game. Oh, that ball only just evaded the fingertips of Maddie Penner. Wasn't by much.
Oh, if McGrath was in there, mid-wicket position, I think that would have been out. But great effort by Penner.
5 for 140. Scores a level here. Making the field a little bit tighter here is Alex Price. 4 balls to come. 1 run to win. Still a chance for a couple of dot balls. Just changing a few fielders around. Got to be attacking here. Anna Lanning, it's her first game back for a little while. She's facing Alex Price on the approach. Goes through the gap, through cover. And that is a stylish way to hit the winning runs. Anna Lanning with a 4 out to the commentary side of Blacktown International Sportspark. The Melbourne Stars win it by 5 wickets, and with that, 5 wins on the bounce. They are unbeaten in this WBBL competition. We've passed the halfway mark, and they are not only firming as a chance to play finals, but the team to beat in this Women's Big Bash League competition. Lanning finishes up unbeaten on 7. She faced 4 balls in the end. Catherine Brunt didn't face a rock, but the Stars 5 for 144 to conclude here, and a richly deserved win. Another relatively tight one against the Adelaide Strikers, who unfortunately will be reeling from the loss of Susie Bates. It was her first game back in as well. We think she's re-injured her shoulder in the outfield earlier in the match, and we'll wait to see what the latest news is on her. But the Strikers never seem to recover from that, despite, I suppose, letting this game go down to the last few balls. Charlotte Anneveld, your thoughts on what's transpired here this afternoon?
Well, I think the Stars will be happy with that win. You know, Nat Siver coming in, bowled really, really well today, picking up 4 wickets. Brunt bowled well from the other end, but they wouldn't be happy, the Stars, with going down to the wire and losing a couple of late wickets.
Michelle Gosco has rejoined us, so just repeating here, a 5-wicket victory for the Melbourne Stars with just 3 balls to spare in the end. Gozzy, I suppose to some point, it doesn't matter how you get the wins, just to get them, but were there lapses, do you think, towards the end for the Melbourne Stars?
I don't think so, Spriggy. Just watching the game here, I think they were going through the motions. It was always in their grasp to win. This game was lost in that 11th over when Penner went for 19 runs. So that's the over where you could just see a sense of just breathing in and out from the Stars. Like, okay, well, we've got this. We've knocked their head off this chase here. And, you know, it was some really quality batting here. I mean, to the credit of the Strikers, they took it down to the last over. So, again, we saw this last week. So, you know, there's little moments in these T20 matches where that turns the game. And I think for me, that 11th over going for 19 really cost the Strikers.
I'll give you the card here for the Melbourne Stars. So an impressive one too, with some big names in there. But Meg Lanning departed for 11 in the 3rd over. She was caught Price bowled shoot when the score was 17. Big partnership from there with Elise Villani and Mignon Dupree. 2 for 109 when that 2nd wicket fell. Villani went for 46 off 45. Caught by Patterson, bowled by Alex Price in the 15th over. 3 for 131. Siver went for 8. Caught McFarlane, bowled McGrath, so she was caught behind in the 18th over. The very next over, Sutherland went for 3. She was stumped by Tegan McFarlane, so sharp glove work from her off the bowling of Sarah Coit. It was double wickets in that second last over of the match when Dupree eventually fell for 60 off 50. I think she would be disappointed she wasn't there at the end, Mignon Dupree, despite her impressive innings here today. Anna Lanning on her return hit the winning runs for the Melbourne Stars. She finished not out on 7, and Catherine Brunt didn't face a ball in the end. I think we're going to get some reaction very shortly from Brittany Carter downstairs, and I fancy it will be the person whose effort with the ball was most notable. Nat Siver, 4 for 29 from 4 overs earlier, but she's just getting her little photo taken as well, just to as part of the official presentation for player of the match. Quickly, the Adelaide Strikers bowlers, Megan Shute, 1 for 24 from her 4. Talia McGrath, 1 for 20 from her 4. Sarah Coit, 4 overs, 2 for 16. AJ Wellington, 4 overs, none for 40. Took some tap again today. Alex Price, 2.3 overs, 1 for 21. Maddie Panner, none for 19 from her, 1 over. And Brittany Carter, I think you've got the player of the match down there with you.
I have indeed. I've been told just to wait a little bit, so just come back to me in a second, Spriggy. Sorry.
Fair enough, Britt. No, I can see her just down there, not far away from you, so I wasn't sure if she was still having a chat, but we will get down to you with Nat Siver very, very shortly. A reminder, of course, still to come later on today, the Renegades and the Hobart Hurricanes, so we'll bring that to you in about an hour and a half's time. We'll be joined by Robin Chipperfield and Jenny Wallace in commentary as well, but very impressive win again for the Melbourne Stars.
Yeah, it certainly was. I'm excited to see a bowler actually get the player of the match. I'm sure Charlotte will be excited as well. And if Renee Farrell was in our commentary, it's unusual usually for a bowler to get it. So, yeah, very impressive performance here by the Stars. Very professional. Everything worked for them that they did today. They stayed calm. Obviously, losing Susie Bates for the Strikers was a big blow. Stefani Taylor also not in the team. And, they just missed Darcy Brown as well, I think. So, yeah, great win here for the Stars.
And I think we're right to go, Britt, with you. Yeah, down to you.
Yes, Nat Siver's ready to go now. So we know the Stars like to chase, Nat. It seems winning the toss and electing to bowl has paid off again today.
Yeah, Meg's doing a good job of winning the toss. She's, we obviously like chasing as a side, but I think with the new wicket today, we weren't really sure what it was going to be like, having played on obviously a different one last week. So, yeah, we wanted to bowl first and see what it was like.
And yourself taking 4 wickets today, were you happy with that performance?
Yeah, I was really happy. I seemed to be executing what I wanted to do, and then if I did get a loose ball, I managed to get away with it today. But, I mean, sometimes they go for 4, so, yeah, I was made my own luck today, so, yeah, it was good.
Mignon Dupree, top scoring also, plenty of 4s, a big 6 from her, and she also built a really nice 90-odd run partnership with Elise Filani that really helped you get over the line. Yeah,
they did. They certainly set us up really through the middle there. I guess we felt a little bit behind it probably around the 8 over mark, but we knew that they had some bowlers that we could target to get it back on track, so they did that perfectly. And then we were a little bit clunky towards the end. It would be good to see it off a bit easier than that, but good to get over the line.
It's nice to see Anna Lanning, who was playing her first game this season for the Stars, hit the winning runs as well, playing with her sister and obviously starring right at the end there.
Yeah, she's been great today. She's obviously got a chance with Erin out, so it's brilliant for her and others to get a bat, really. We haven't really had much chance in the middle order to really put a mark on it, so we're doing our job at the moment, finishing off the innings nicely.
That win consolidates your spot at the top of the ladder. What have you made of the season so far? Obviously, the Stars have been pretty successful in the games that they've played this season, but you did start with 3 washouts, so it's remarkable that you're still at the top of the ladder despite those 3 washouts.
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating at the start, really. It felt like we'd been in Australia for a month and we hadn't played a game of cricket, so yeah, it's good for the rain to finally go away and actually play some and get on a roll, really. You don't really want any games off once you started, otherwise the form players can feel a little bit out of it, I guess, if you miss a game, but yeah, we've seemed to be doing all right so far.
Congratulations on your Player of the Match award and good luck against the Thunder in your next game.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thanks, Brett, and thanks to Nat Siver down there as well. 4 wickets. What a performance. The Stars now put some more space between they and the Sydney Thunder. Those 2 teams will meet this weekend, in fact, at the showground on Saturday, so we'll be there for that. Can't wait for that. That is the Melbourne Stars next up. Now, we're about to wrap up as we speak here, Brett, so thank you very much for that reaction from downstairs from the winners and the player of the match. And the Strikers left to count the cost, Gozzie and Charlotte, because no Stefani Taylor with that quad injury, and now no Susie Bates. We'll see how serious that is. But thank you to you both for your company here this afternoon, as always.
Thank you, Spriggy.
Thank you.
And I'll see you in an hour and a half, Gozzie, for the next game to come later on. The Renegades and the Hurricanes. A big win it was here for the Stars over the Strikers. Thanks to Charlotte Annaville, thanks to Brittany Carter, thanks to our tech, Nathan Turnbull, to Ned Hall back in the studio, and to you, most importantly, for your company, as always, on Grandstand Cricket. The Stars with their 5th win of this WBBL campaign. Join us in an hour and a half's time for the Renegades and Hurricanes back here at Blacktown.
BBC 5 Live.
Scott Mills and Chris Stark.
No Chris Stark this week.
Instead, it was me.